Welcome all. Today we're going to analyze the latest David Stearns steal, getting Ryne Stanek from the Seattle Mariners for Rylan Thomas, a lowly Mets prospect, a guy that I heard of like once or twice months ago, not because he was good, just because I was going through prospects, a guy we'll probably never hear from again. But we were able to get a very, very solid piece with plenty of playoff experience and who is a fireballer, a guy who could slot in the wherever you need him, 8th, 9th, 7th. This guy's got electric stuff. He's got a sinker, a very good sinker, a splitter. I am extremely excited. In this video, we're going to go over some comments from Carlos Mendoza on his feelings about the Ryne Stanek move. We are going to analyze what this guy brings to the table, what type of stuff Ryne Stanek has, and really, how does our bullpen look after this? What type of shape we're in? Okay, first, I'm going to need you to like and subscribe. In the next couple of days, we're going to have a series of videos covering the Michael Conforto situation, other potential trades and acquisitions. Obviously, our New York Mets are doing freaking phenomenal. We currently have the #1 wild card spot, beating up on the Atlanta Braves. Come on, let's go. Our New York Mets are here to stay. The hottest team in all of MLB since the beginning of June. And those are just facts, people. Those are facts. We also have the best offense in all of Major League Baseball. That's a fact. We also have a potential MVP on our team in Francisco Lindor, and that is a fact. We have budding superstars, young superstars in Mark Vientos and Francisco Alvarez. These are just facts. Unfortunately, Kodai Senga, our ace, who had a phenomenal electric comeback performance, I give him all the praise and credit. I hope that it's just, a minor injury or strain or whatnot. At the time of this video, I don't know. But at the end of the day, we put ourselves in a position without Kodai Senga even here. So, folks, let's move on. Let's continue to build our depth, which we are doing with Ryne Stanek, and move forward. Also, I said this yesterday. I said that David Stearns, he's going to be opportunistic. But this trade, and I also said David Stearns will not be ripped off, folks. We are in a position where we have one of the most competent presidents / GMs in that position. In all of the MLB, we have one of the best. That's why he's making $11 million. That's why we tried to get him for 3-4 years, this being David Stearns. This is why this man was able to turn a dumpster fire of a team into a very reputable opponent, a very reputable foe right now. So David Stearns has done a very great job in such a short period of time, I really have to say. But this Ryne Stanek trade actually reminded me, getting such good potential value back for just a low-level prospect. These are the trades that in past, like let's say 15, 20 years ago, when the Yankees would get everything, it feels like they would give a no-name prospect and fill their needs. They get a relief pitcher, they get help in their lineup, they help on their bench. And I never understand, how could the Yankees do it? Wouldn't another team be able to offer more? And that's the same thing in this trade. You don't think that another team like the Braves, the Phillies, maybe the Dodgers, the Rangers, other teams who are looking to compete, they're probably like, their fan bases are probably like, oh, we could have offered more than Rylan Thomas, a no-name, low-level prospect, for a guy with this type of talent and this type of experience. Look, we are paying for experience. Like, you pay for that. You need to have a guy who's battle tested. We just traded for a guy who's battle tested. I was actually just shocked at the return we gave back. But credit to David Stearns. And let's look at some numbers. In fact, let me just bring it on the screen for all to see. And if you haven't hit the like button, like and subscribe. Let me know if you like what I'm doing, or if you like anything. That's the best way to show it. Then we'll just keep making more videos. Okay, and I'm gonna bring up those stats right now for you. Okay, so first let's look at the baseball reference page for Ryne Stanek. Let's see what's going on, and just stay tuned. I still have quotes from Carlos Mendoza and quotes from the organization about what they feel about this move. So that's going to come very shortly. But let's get a basis. So right now in 2024, we have a 32-year-old right-hander. Ryne Stanek stands 6'4" so he's a big guy. He's 6-3 this year with an ERA of 4.38. He's pitched in 40 innings. In 40 innings, he's given up 35 hits. His strikeouts is 10.2 per nine. His walk is 3.9 per nine. His whip is 1.33. So Ryne Stanek, as of late, has been struggling, right? So he's had a couple bad recent outings, but that's okay. That's fine, because if you're David Stearns, it's good to buy low. You buy low, you sell high. So this is the perfect example of a buy low player. Buy low. Like if you look at his career numbers, a lot of times these players will always resort back to the mean, back to their career. Even though this year he's having a career 4.38 ERA, he's a career 3.5 ERA guy. Strikeout wise, he's at 10.5, so he's around his career. He's a career whip of 1.2. That's not bad. He's a guy with very, very respectable numbers out of the pen. Just 2 years ago in Houston, in 60 games, he went 2-1 with a 1.15 earned run average. He was dominant. I repeat, he was dominant. The year before that, in 2021, he was respectable with a 3.42. But this guy can turn it on. I think he's the type of guy that he needs to be in the right situation to perform. And I think this New York Mets vibe, this clubhouse, will motivate the heck out of this guy. And I'm going to tell you where he fits in the bullpen momentarily. But let's just bring up his Baseball Savant stats, because let's check that out as well. Okay, so on Baseball Savant, let's look at something. So let's look at his repertoire right now. So he is a fireballer, folks. He can hit 100 miles per hour. His four-seam fastball averages 98 miles per hour. He has a split finger. He throws that 20% of the time, an 89 mile per hour split finger. He has an 88 mile per hour slider, and he's got a 96 mile per hour sinker. So he's got the splitter, and then he's got the sinker. So those two pitchers have the intention of moving down. So he can induce ground balls. This year, he hasn't. I'm looking at right here. He hasn't really induced much ground balls. So if I'm guessing, I think maybe that's where he hasn't been successful. Let me go back to 2022 before I get into his 2024 numbers and see what his ground ball percentage was. Okay, so his ground ball percentage, while not great, was still more than double the 12%. So that just might be something that he can work on. And if he tweaks that, he might just be able to get back to where he was. I mean, we have some good numbers here. His velo is in the 97th percentile. His chase percentage is in the 92nd. His whip rate is in the 87th. His K rate is in the 72nd. This is telling me that this guy has potentially wiped out stuff. What does he need to work on? It looks like he needs to work on his control. Maybe he needs to work on that sinker, that splitter, to get the ground ball percentage a little up. But looking at this, the chase rate, the whip rate, the K rate, this is telling me the guy has wipeout stuff. And that's a guy with that type of repertoire and those type of pitches I will take a chance on any day. And we know that this guy has a proven track record. This guy is the type of guy. Most teams, I'll tell you, 90% of the teams in this playoff hunt would want to add a guy like that. And all those GMs and presidents, for not exploring it for whatever reason possible, are kicking themselves right now. Okay, so we're going to go into some of the comments made by Carlos Mendoza, and then lastly, I want to go over what the bullpen looks like. So let's go over the comments, and we'll do that right now. Okay, so these comments were made to the Bergen Record, and the Bergen Record put a very nice piece, and it was titled "3 Things to Know About New Mets Reliever After the Trade with the Mariners." So the Mets front office obviously moved pretty quickly yesterday to acquire Ryne Stanek. They acquired him, as mentioned, for outfield prospect Ryne Thomas, who, as I said earlier, was ranked, according to some publication, I believe it was MLB.com, as the 30th ranked Mets prospect. Okay, so the 33-year-old right-hander has appeared in 46 games this year for the Mariners. He posted a 6.3 record, 44 strikeouts, 7 saves, and 39 innings. Stanek is on a 1-year, $4 million contract. Okay, so let's get to what Carlos Mendoza said. So Carlos Mendoza said straight up about Stanek. He has pitched in some big games. I saw it earlier in his career with the Rays, and then as recent as last year with Houston. He's got that ability to come in late in games. He's got playoff experience. He's pitched in big games, and he has a huge power arm. It's 97. It's 98 miles per hour. There's a splitter. I've seen him a lot. I am so glad he's on my side right now. So that those sentences, those quotes are exactly from the skipper. He's exuding his excitement, his confidence, and a guy like this, Carlos Mendoza, has basically said, I've seen him before. He's been nasty. I am so glad he is on our team. And they just tell you how they're going to use him. He's going to be used in late games. They like that he has player experience, as mentioned. He's been a big game pitcher. So he's a very good piece, very good experienced piece with a good track record. Thumbs up. I'm still a bit shocked. You just got such extreme value. It feels like a fleece. It feels like a steal. I'm hoping there's something that we don't know, but I'm just so excited. So let me just tell you, Ryne Thomas was the 30th ranked prospect according to MLB Pipeline. Okay, so this article confirms it. The 24-year-old outfielder was an 11th round pick by the Mets in the 2022 MLB draft. After opening the season in AA Binghamton, Thomas has played 49 games for AAA Syracuse this season, slashing .235, .286, .377 with 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, 35 runs, and 11 doubles. So, those are pedestrian numbers. I know Ryne Thomas last year, he had a career batting average of about .320 over the course of the season. So the Mariners may have seen something that they liked about Ryne Thomas. Great. That's part of the job. If you're the Mets and David Stearns, you want to hype up your prospects. That's what other successful organizations have done. They overvalue their prospects and they undervalue whatever they're trying to trade for. So that's a good strategy. So Stanek spent the previous 3 seasons in the Astro bullpen, including a part of their 2022 World Series championship team when he notched a 1.15 ERA and 1.23 WHIP across 54 and 2/3 innings during that regular season. Lights out, folks. Lights out. Exactly what you want. Stanek was a former first-round pick of the Rays in the 2013 MLB draft. Stanek has appeared in 23 postseason games, great experience. During the Astros' run to the World Series crown, he tossed 3 scoreless innings with 6 strikeouts, and he had a 2.70 postseason ERA. So he's had success. He had major success. Stanek was also a teammate of Mets reliever Phil Maton, which Phil, I got to give him credit, in 6 or 7 innings with the Mets has looked good as well. Okay. Where Ryne Stanek thrives. As mentioned before, he's a 6'4" righty and is one of the hardest throwers in all of Major League Baseball, averaging 98.1 with the fastball. Stanek supplements the pitch with a splitter. Okay, so we already went over this. JD Martinez mentioned he's got a good arm. The guy throws damn hard. He's definitely going to help us out. We're so excited to add a piece here. It's really good that you got, all these teammates like so excited about a relief pitcher, but it just shows you how together this bunch is. Like, we are in this to win it. That's why I really love the clubhouse vibes and filling a major need. The acquisition of Stanek comes earlier, following the news that Daniel Nunez, one of the Mets' newest chief high-level options, has been placed on the DL. Mendoza said the good news was that there was no ligament damage in his elbow, but it's still a shock. And corresponding moves. Okay, all right, good. Okay, all right. So obviously we know Daniel Nunez is on the 15-day DL, and that transitions us to our last piece of the video. We're going to speak about the Mets bullpen right now. Okay. You know what? Let me actually bring this up so we can all look at this. Okay. So we're going to look at the depth chart for the bullpen. All right, so right now, the bullpen as it currently stands, and it's this screen, this is from the Mets website. It doesn't have Ryne Stanek in the bullpen as of yet. But right now, we have Edwin Diaz, Adam Ottavino, Jake Diekman, Phil Matone. Daniel's injured. We have Jose Butto, and Jose Butto, great outing the other day. Danny Young, Eric Orzo, and Alex Young. Okay, so let's look at potentially. Potentially, we know Ryne Stanek is going to be here, so it would be Edwin Diaz, Adam Ottavino, Jake Diekman, Phil Matone. Let's say Stanek would be the fifth guy. Butto would be the sixth guy. And then you have Alex Young as the seventh guy. So if we go seven, it looks like Danny Young and Eric Orzo, these two guys would be the odd men out right now. I think like right now the organization, they want to give Jake Diekman, even though he's been shaky as of late, he's been doing pretty decent. So I like what we're seeing from Jake as of late. But the main thing, as we could see from me bringing up the Mets bullpen depth options, by getting another guy like Ryne Stanek, we just create more depth options. We have a couple guys who are injured: Sean Reed-Foley, Reed Garrett, and newly Daniel Nunez. Those are three valuable pieces that are eventually going to come back. So at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're creating depth options. If guys falter, if Diekman doesn't continue to improve, if Ottavino all of a sudden gets hurt, like, we have to have these depth options, and that's essentially what David Stearns has done with this additional piece. What I project maybe one more bullpen piece, another bat, and maybe we go after a big move. People are speaking. There's another video about this, that big splash. So I'm going to talk about that in another video. But please like and subscribe. Any comments, drop the comments. I appreciate that from everyone. I will speak to you soon. And let's go Mets. We are having right now a fantastic, kind of magical run. So let's go.